Und damit ist es 7 Uhr. Guten Morgen hier bei
The
uns.
German TV station Die Welt reported Friday night on Berlin's secret plan. The CDU-CSU faction, which won the last election, is to work on an alliance with neighboring countries to stop illegal immigration. Significantly secret talks with Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, and France are said to be already underway. For the first time in the context of sending migrants back to Poland, Germany says this will be possible even without the consent of the countries to which migrants are to be transferred. It is said that this happened not only with Poland, but also with Austria, and Nancy Faeser, the current interior minister, was also involved. She is said to have already traveled. During her last trip to Jordan, she negotiated this with the Austrian interior minister. So if it is indeed true that an agreement has been reached, then of course it will be possible to turn people away at the borders, because the neighbors will give the green light, so to speak. But of course not everything is settled yet. It has to be said that negotiations, if they actually take place, are certainly still ongoing. The Bild Daily, on the other hand, talks about the 5 steps of Friedrich Merz, typified as Germany's future chancellor, who is supposed to be responsible for developing the secret plan. First, secret negotiations are to be held with Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria, Switzerland, and France. According to Germany's Bild, each country has already signaled its firm willingness to cooperate. In the second step after his election as chancellor, Merz wants to hold a summit where the agreement will be signed. Later, the German government will regulate it in its laws. The federal police will not let in illegal immigrants, even those seeking asylum. The final, 5th step is supposed to be a domino effect. That is, other countries will follow in Germany's footsteps. This is supposed to be the solution to Germany's huge problems with the influx of illegal migrants. The Germans committed foolish acts, and now we are to pay for it. We are to bear the consequences. It was the German chancellor who invited the immigrants, but now they are to be dumped into Poland. Well, this cannot be allowed, because turning these people back at the borders will make them stay in our country, for example. And this is a threat to the security of Poland and Poles. In all European countries where migrants from Africa have appeared, there has been an exponential increase in crime, from simple theft in public transport to group rapes. We certainly have reason to be concerned. As we hear about the secret plan, we should be very attentive and follow these reports. It is clear that the German government will want to deal with the problem of illegal migration. Polish President Andrzej Duda reacted to the German media reports. Prime Minister Tusk is very fond of boasting lately about protecting the border, but only the eastern one, that is, the one we previously strengthened, despite his protests and attacks by the Civic Platform politicians. Now my written questions about the western border and the threat of bringing illegal migrants into Poland from Germany have made the Prime Minister very nervous. Is it because he has to carry out Berlin's secret plan, as written by the Germans themselves? The questions that upset the Prime Minister included the head of government's actions regarding the transfer of migrants from Germany to Poland, or the implementation of the European Commission's guidelines on the implementation of the Migration Pact. Instead of an answer, an attack came from Donald Tusk's mouth. I can't say anything good about what the president is doing lately, and also about his letter and questions, so I won't comment on it. How many days left? 138? I counted today? 131. For me, this is the only answer I can afford at the moment. There are 131 days left, and somehow we will make it. Law and Justice is not making jokes about illegal migration, because the issue of the influx of migrants from Germany to Poland is serious. All the more so because the Polish government does not report on ongoing talks on the issue. However, we are increasingly hearing official positions from Brussels. The European Commission admits that Donald Tusk's government has agreed to the Migration Pact, and its implementation is mandatory for Poland. Even if we do not accept migrants for a certain period of time, we will still pay for them from our taxes. Here is Poland. Here is Poland. That's why Law and Justice politicians went on the offensive on our western border. Party chairman of Law and Justice Jarosław Kaczyński appeared in Słubice. This is a change in our status, a change in the status of a sovereign state. The Germans, having their people in power here, think that they will be allowed to do whatever they want. They are entering our territories. At the moment, German police cars can be seen even far from the western border. In Rosówek, Mariusz Błaszczak vividly compared the situation in Poland and in Western European countries that have willingly accepted illegal immigrants. As for assaults per 100,000 inhabitants, there are 554 such cases in Belgium, 165 in Germany, and how many in Poland? 27. As for rapes in Belgium, in France, it is 29 per 100,000, and in Poland, it is 2. All over the Polish western border, there were illegal immigrants being pushed in. If it wasn't for the initiative of citizens who saw that the German services on the Polish side were dropping off illegal immigrants, and that there was no reaction from the Polish state, we would probably already be flooded with these migrants, although this process is happening anyway. Polish people say openly that they are afraid of illegal immigrants, especially since they are allowed into Poland without any control. We didn't invite them. We didn't make any decisions with them. All this was done by Mrs. Merkel, and now she has passed it on to Mr. Tusk. And now Mr. Tusk is trying to throw it to us like a cuckoo's egg, so to say. The Germans control our cars that enter the German side, while our guards, the police, are not here in Rosówek at all. The situation we are in now is simply dangerous for me and my relatives. The Law and Justice Party is collecting signatures for a referendum on migration, because Rafał Trzaskowski's possible victory in the presidential elections could condemn Poland to a massive flooding of our cities, villages, and towns by illegal immigrants. This is exactly Trzaskowski's plan, to bring tens of thousands of illegal immigrants here to Poland. It is hard to imagine today that Donald Tusk's government would go into open conflict with the European Union and not accept migrants. In the past, Donald Tusk's politicians have already agreed to Brussels' decisions on migration policy. This was the case during the end of Donald Tusk's first government, when Brussels wanted to punish countries for not accepting migrants. The civic platform, including Rafał Trzaskowski, supported punishing Poland. Moments later, they lost power and migrants did not reach Poland. In your opinion, is it right to start criminal proceedings against Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, that we don't want to accept migrants and we don't implement what we committed to? Well, unfortunately, this is how it is, but rightly or wrongly? Rightly, though I deplore it, because it is the case that if one does not fulfill commitments and decisions, then unfortunately, there are consequences. If the Polish government is actually, as one of 2 or 3 in Europe, determined not to participate in this solidarity sharing of responsibilities on the refugee issue, this will inevitably entail certain consequences. These are the rules in Europe. So it is difficult to think that today Trzaskowski will oppose the Migration Pact.